This is Bana Alabed. She's 7 years old and lives in eastern Aleppo.
I am sad. It's so bad.
Bana and her mother Fatme tweet about their daily life under siege. They began tweeting in September and have more than 190,000 followers. Their account gained even more international attention when they tweeted author J.K. Rowling.
I started reading your books. Thank you very, very much.
This week, their home was bombed. But some are sceptical about how authentic Bana and her tweets are. Bana's mother is afraid they'll be targeted by the Syrian regime for speaking out about the horrors in Aleppo. Bana is the latest child to become a symbol of Syria's war.
Stand with Aleppo.
To get the international community to care
This is the bombing.
and take action. Last year, 3-year-old Alan Kurdi, photographed washed up dead on the shore in Bodrum, Turkey, became the symbol of the refugee crisis. And in August, this video of Omran Daknish spread across social media. The Assad regime dismissed the video as staged. Is there an ethical dilemma in using children to humanise conflict? Are they being exploited? Or does it take shining a spotlight on child victims before anyone starts to care? Yvette McCullough, The Newsmakers.
Sami Hamdi joins me now from London. He's the editor of the International Interest magazine. Sami, good of you to join us. Thanks so much. 7-year-old Bana's account is very powerful. It's very moving and definitely has an impact. First up, do you think it's her, or maybe it's her mother or someone else? And does that really matter?
I think it doesn't really matter. I think it's probably her mother guiding her. I think the Twitter account has had a huge impact in bringing the plight of the people of Aleppo to the global attention. And I think it's a good thing that such a Twitter account exists.
Mm-hmm. Do you maybe understand why some people are so suspicious nowadays of what comes online, what comes onto their Facebook feed and Twitter feed? When we had the story of the Aleppo toy smuggler, Rami Adham, in the end it turned out he wasn't as clean as he probably seemed. And even someone who was deemed a Daesh source, that guy Shami Witness, turned out he was just, some Indian kid living with his mother in Bangalore, right? So with all of these sort of accounts coming out, do you understand why any news that comes out, particularly on social media, whether it is something that wants to highlight the plight of the people under bombardment or anything else, you understand why people are so suspicious of what they come across on their feed?
Look, with the emerging of social media, it's true that in terms of credibility checks, they are much harder. These days, you can write anything on social media, and if you have enough friends and a big enough network, you can create virtually anything and make it current affairs news. Also, news outlets such as the leading news outlets, they're using social media as a source for news as well, in terms of trying to find that grassroots movement also. I think the problem with using this argument with regards to Syria in particular is that it detracts from the reality of what is going on. In terms of Bana, it doesn't matter where the source is coming from. Aleppo is under siege. Aleppo is being bombed. Children there are having to live through this war, and they are going to be a generation that is shaped by this brutal and bloody war. So I think in terms of the Bana case, rather than worrying about this argument as to who, what, where and when, the reality is, what message are we taking from this Twitter feed? The message is clear. Young children of 7 years old, 6 years old, 5 years old, children who, if you have children yourself, you will see you would never want your son or daughter to go through what Syria is going through. This Twitter account expresses that perfectly. By using a 7-year-old picture there on that Twitter account, the impact is clear.
Yeah, the impact is clear.
And the impact of what's happening to Aleppo.
Sorry to interrupt you, because we are running out of time. The impact might be amplified. Do you have any concerns ethically about that amplification? So whether it is Bana, who is alive and well, and hopefully, she will see better days and she will stop being under bombardment, but clearly she's being used as a symbol of the revolution, of people under bombardment. And then, of course, people use the image of Alan Kurdi, people use that image of Omran Daknish. Are there any ethical concerns that maybe the images of these kids are being exploited, particularly by us, the media, because we feed off this stuff, don't we?
As a general rule, I would agree with you. It is unethical to use children for any political cause or for any issues with regarding war and the like. But the problem here is that when that applies when you take it out of context. Let's put it in the context of Syria. The pictures of Russian planes striking Aleppo has not moved the international community. The pictures of babies being pulled out of rubble has not moved the international community. The pictures of children lying dead on the streets has not moved the international community. The pictures of children telling cameras and showing the corpses of their mothers and fathers has not moved the international community. So my argument is, how dare anybody today say or try to take the moral high ground by accusing other people of using desperate measures in desperate times. Aleppo has been under siege. Syria is in civil war. And despite that, we're not any closer to a peace solution, to a political solution. If it takes a child to bring that political solution, I believe that the desperate straits in Syria have created the environment in which somebody like Bennett has emerged, has appeared, this Twitter account. So I understand the whole ethical argument. I understand that people have concerns, but you must put this into context. Nothing has moved the international community. For the Syrians, it's time to try something new. And that's putting a 7-year-old girl in front of you and showing you her life. And if she dies in the conflict, it will be much more personal because people will have followed her stages of her life and it will be real. She is bringing the conflict to your homes. She is bringing the conflict for you to understand it, to see it first eye through her eyes. And I think that's extremely powerful. I don't necessarily agree that it would be the first measure to use, but I understand that circumstances as they are now have forced such a phenomenon to emerge.
Very passionately put. Sami, great to talk to you. Hope to have you on the program again. Sami Hamdi joining us there from London.